Good evening. Here we are, 1 year on our birthday edition. HHV the judge, and there's the judge there wearing a birthday costume.
Can't believe it's been a year.
Yeah. We got our new graphics. AC above me, Holden sources above the judge. The old scales, fantastic. For those of you watching it on the radio, yeah, and then look, Holden. Now I don't have to tell you what we're doing today. It's Holden Sources November Handicap Preview. There it is, the last big race on the flat, the second last race of the entire year. It's going to be what a weekend we've got coming up, Judge. We've got Aintree, Breeders' Cup, November Handicap in Canton's incredible Badger Beer. It's going to be fantastic.
God, I don't know where I'm coming or going at the moment, mate. There's so much studying to be done.
Yeah. Well, just like that, I'd rather you were going. I'm only kidding. Only a bit of fun. Thank you. Yeah. So, can I just say before we go on that the farcical scenes at Exeter we've just been talking about before. I cannot stand this taking like half the fences out, and it's not sour grapes because it was a double dipper race, but it infuriates me. But anyway, Double Dipper will be back tomorrow, and I'll be back tomorrow morning to release that on this channel. So look out for that. But forget that for now because it's all about the November Handicap. We're going to go into detail, have a real good preview, see if we can dig out the winner. So, Judge, let me go through the runners and riders. It is the last big race of the year. It is on firework night. It's a Class 2 1 mile 4 handicap. It's going to be run on. It says heavy soft in places, but some of the trainers are claiming those soft places are not visible to the naked eye. So it's going to be heavy ground, let's be serious. 22 runners. Now, as it stands right across Oddschecker, Sky Bet are number one in terms of generosity with 7 places, but there's plenty of 6 places about Bet365, Paddy Power, Billy Hills, Betfair Sportsbook, Boyle Sports, and several others as well, and the rest go 5. So if anyone offers you 4 places on this, tell them where to get off. This is a race where you can have a real each-way crack at. Now, top of the shop, we'll go through them. We won't go through all 22, but we'll certainly deal with the horses at the top of the market. Now, there is a very, very, I think, short price favourite anyway, but 11-4 at the time of recording. Number 2, she's got second top weight. It's only a 3-year-old, Isra, but certainly well bred. For John and Thady Gosden, ridden by Jim Crowley. Now, was last seen 3-1 favourite over this course and distance, beating Sarumi by a very comfortable 4 lengths. Also won at Newbury, another left-handed course with a long galloping straight. So it's pretty clear what this horse's skill set is. Though it's a 3-year-old, it's quite experienced horse. This will be its 6th race of its 3-year-old career. They're having one last go this year. Now, Isra, Judge, now I know before I ask, it's not the sort of thing you look at in these big handicaps, but he's going to have his followers at 11-4, isn't he?
Of course he is. He's 2 from 2 at Donny. He's very impressive over course and distance last time out. He's just a terrible price, isn't he? I mean, he looked a well beat. He looked a group horse last time out. Certainly, listed class. But he's gone up quite a bit for that, and the hats just fell off. And so for me, he's too short, mate. I can't back horses like this. We say it every week, let these horses win. I think on the whole, if you back horses like this every week, you'd end up losing money, of course.
Well, what I'd say is we oppose a lot of short price favourites in big prices. I know people do say to me, here we go again, taking on jollies. There must be some good value favourites. But what I'd say is look back over the first year we've been doing this. Not many of those favourites that we've gone against have actually done the business. And if you look over the full year, you would have been well down if you were constantly backing these hot pots. So you can't think in racing, you can't micromanage it. You've got to think macro, you've got to think bigger picture and your long-term betting career. So if you want to back this tomorrow, it may well win. It's a very well-bred horse. But the negatives for me are it's got a hell of a lot of weight. And it's in against some very big, strong, older, experienced horses with plenty of form in desperate ground. And I just wonder if it's a bit have a big ask for this. It may well do it, but it won't be carrying my money.
The other thing, so it's the same price to win last time out, wasn't it? It's the same price to win a lot easier race than it is to win this. So
yeah. The Gosden factor, isn't it? You know, mate.
Yeah.
Gosden factor. We'll come to the next vote. So it's a resounding no at the price for us with Israel.
Yeah.
That's number 2. Now, the second favourite is all the way down near the bottom of the weights, number 17, Nathaniel Green, trained by the other great Newmarket powerhouse trainer, Willie Haggis. And he puts a £3 claimer on this to take the weight down even further. Now, this horse has got winning form over further and has got winning form on soft ground. Last seen when 4th of 14 at good race at York. Has won at Haydock and won at Chepstow, so again left-handed tracks, maybe not as galloping as this place. I would say, Judge, it's not my pick, but I'd rather be on Nathaniel Green each way at 8 with his winning form over further and in soft than I would be on the Jolly. What do you think?
Well, you must be reading my mind, mate. This would be my main idea of the winner. I do like unexposed 3-year-olds in this race, and we probably come to another one later on who has quite a fair chance as well. But this horse for me has been progressing. I like the fact he's coming back in trip. It's going to be staying on at the end. It's got loads of. It's got to say its best run was at Haydock on really soft ground that day, and that form has been really working out because you had the likes of Double Cherry, Zimmerman's won from that. Percy Jones won out the race. Giavoletto, the second, came third in the St Ledger. So, you know, that's now a group, obviously, group placed as well now. So it beat that off, you know, it was getting £10, admittedly. It's gone up, obviously, £8 for that particular win. But I do think if you consider, like, Israel's got 9.11 and this has got 8 stone 9, getting £16 from that horse, I think he's got his work cut out. And at the prices, I'd rather back this at sort of 3 times the price than the other one. So I do like this one. Yep. So Nathaniel Green gets the old hammer down.
Yeah. So the judge has gone early there, Nathaniel Green. Now, this race is always fascinating because you get in it several jumps horses. Some, you know, haven't run for a while. You get the impression this is to put them right for hurdles or fences or whatever. But some have landed big gambles, and there is a big gamble going on the next in the betting, number 14, Metier. Now, I'll come to a couple of issues I've got with this horse. Trained by Harry Fry, he's booked Saffie Osbourne for this, now 6-year-old. Has not been seen on the flat for over 1,000 days. When last seen on the flat, finished 5th of 17 at Leopardstown over 1 mile 4 in October 19. Now, since then, the horse has had a mixed career. He was going to be a superstar, this horse. He had a big win, I remember, at Sandown. And then he was fancied at
won a great. Was it the Tolworth?
Yeah, he won the Tolworth, didn't he? Yeah, but he was talked about as being, wasn't he, the next big thing, and he didn't really
be the Supreme winner, wasn't he, that year?
Yeah. Now, this is definitely his ground. I actually wonder if this is even far enough for him. The other thing is, and again, I'm risking. I think Saffie Osbourne is a very good jockey. We've booked her ourselves. She has got a tremendous clock in her head. She's a great reader of races. She brings horses through. But I'm going to say something. This is a big lump of a horse, and I wonder if this will suit her style of riding. I wonder if they would have been, you know, maybe prove wrong. Probably will be. Better going for, shall we say, somebody who would have made his mind up a bit earlier. I can see this horse getting well behind in this race. But he will stay on. Look, Harry Fry's a very, very shrewd cookie. They're certainly backing this horse, or they have been the last couple of hours. He's a fascinating contender, Metier. And I know a lot of the National Hunt guys, but I'll just cast your mind back to the Cesarewitch. Only a couple of weeks ago, we were told that the big jumps horse, the Henderson horse, was unbeatable. Ryan Moore was booked, weren't we? All the money, and he didn't do it, did he? So these jumps horses going on the flat, they are not foolproof. No. And I think Metier's got a few questions to answer tomorrow, so I won't be putting him up. What do you think, Metier, Judge?
I mean, the big positive is the going. that's it. I just, you know, it's sort of horse you could see being 20, 25 to 1, and you're giving a squeak to it, 10 to 1. You know, I'll let it go, thanks. You know,
so many questions to answer, any after
but
1,000 days off.
He has really. I mean, you compare his form on the flat to, for example, to the selection I've just put up. There's only 2 points difference in price. It's like, what? No, thank you.
Yeah, now I'm going to come to a jump source that I very nearly selected here now, who's the same price, and I find this crazy because this horse recently has proven his ability to win on the flat, and he's another high-class jump source, top of the shop, Tritonic. Now, Kingy has put Callum Hutchinson on. Now, quickly, we ought to mention our pals at Goodwin Racing are sponsoring this, and they also sponsor
the whole car.
Yeah, so, yeah, this would be very, very sweet all round if this went in. So nearly gave this, but he still got 9-7. That was my concern. He beat Goshen, who didn't exactly frank the form last week, did he?
Goshen.
Yeah, in the Goodwood race, which was a lot of jump sources in there. In fact, the other Alan King horse, On to Victory, was 6 lengths back there. I can't understand anybody who thinks he's going to turn that form round.
Wow.
So Tritonic, I think he's going to run great. I think he's going to be in the 5, in the 6, whatever. Definitely, you'll get a return. But I don't know. I just see him with all that weight. I can see him just getting tapped late on. What do you think, Tritonic for Kingy?
Well, I don't think really soft ground suits this horse. He doesn't mind cut, but I just think really soft to heavy ground and top weight. It's got work cut out himself. The two combined. Yeah. I mean, most of his best hurdle form has been on good to soft. You know, it's not been on heavy, is it? You know, this is going to be, you know, quite a war of attrition in this going. So, no, he's not for me, especially with top weight.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to come to my selection now, and that is all the way down at the bottom, number 20, a horse called Teed Up, and I believe he's been teed up for a big, big gamble there by Emmett Mullins. Franny Norton booked. He runs off 82. Now, last time out, 21 days ago, his first run of the season. What I will say, if you backed him that day, I think you could maybe have expected him to be ridden a little bit more aggressively. I think it was very much an Emmett Mullins warm-up job. They are a super, super shrewd outfit. Yeah. And I believe they think they've got this one very well weighted for this race. He's won 3 times, 7 furlong to 1 mile 1. Now, he's got to be proven at the trip. But there's bags of stamina in his pedigree, and if you look at some of his 1 mile 1 win on a very stiff track, he was in a hat canter at the end. I do think he's going to get the trip. He's got no weight at all. They have so many horses that they could have brought over. Do you know what I mean? And they've aimed this one at this race. We've seen recently so many Irish target horses do the business. I'm thinking of the Says. Yes. I'm thinking of at Cheltenham, the first jumps meeting. I just think at the moment they may have our number again, like they did a couple of years ago. And I think Teed Up could take quite a bit of beating tomorrow. I really, really do. I think he could be extremely well handicapped. And at 11 to 1 with William Hill, 6 places, I think he's a very strong each way selection here. Yes, the one doubt is it's all right looking like you're going to get the trip. It's all right winning over 1 mile 1 on desperate ground. We're going to find out in that last furlong whether he truly gets it. I think he might be well clear by then, but you'll have your Metiers and all the real stayers snapping at his heels. But this might be the sort of thing where Norton's just gone 2-3 out. So we shall see. But I think Teed Up is very much the one to beat. And at 11 to 1, though not a great price now, I still think there's a little bit of value there. What do you think, Judge?
I think he could be quite an aptly named horse, don't you? Looks like it could have been teed up for this particular event. I watched this race. I watched it run last time out at Leopardstown. It appeared not to stay, but there again, that's bear in mind, I haven't been off the course for best part of 2.5 months. It might have needed the run, so you got that. The fact it's won over hurdles kind of thinks it's won over it's won over hurdles. It stayed 2.5 miles over hurdles, so you'd think you'd have a fair chance of staying 12 furlongs. So
I don't think he got beat.
I wouldn't put you off this one at all, mate.
Yeah. I don't think he got beat last time because he didn't stay for that.
No, and he came there at one stage around about between 2 and 1 out, looked like he might win, and then he wasn't hard on it, was he? So
no.
Yeah.
I've seen the prof put more effort into getting around him, to be honest. How many?
Yes, that's a collector's item, isn't it?
Very much. I'm only kidding. Of course, I'm only kidding to Emmett Mullins rather than about the prof. Right. So teed up for me. You have already gone with Nathaniel Green. Yeah, you want to mention another horse, don't you?
I do. I do want to one in particular, but I do want to mention the other, Alan King horse, because obviously it's won this race before and it's off a lower weight.
Yeah.
So I do think this might have been its aim all season, Si. So I wouldn't put people off that particular horse. But the one I like, and a lot of people know that I've been tipping this particular horse up quite a lot recently. And it's been doing everything apart.
Just hang on, mate. Just to say, you meant On to Victory there.
On to Victory, yes. Yeah, that's the other Alan King horse. Sorry, yes. He's pretty interested. He's a sort of horse you could definitely see in the frame here. Whether he'll be quite well-handed enough to win the race is another thing. But he'd definitely be one of them horses that, if he actually gets out the stalls half sensible, he'd definitely be there or thereabouts. But,
that's his problem, isn't it?
Yeah, he loses too much ground at the start. What he has done quite a lot recently. The one I really want to give a big mention to is a horse called Falak, and I've had this on my radar since it ran at Hamilton. It's very unlucky that day over this trip on soft ground in quite a valuable race there. It looked like it'd been laid out for that particular race, and ever since then it's been given too much to do, and finally got given a great ride last time out over 10 furlongs at York, hit the front, looked all over the winner, and then pulled itself up. So he's kind of one of them. This is 33 to 1, so there's no way in the world that I'm not going to be having a little sneaky each way bet on this. So keep your eye out for Falak, because he has actually got course form as well. If you have a look behind Muchtabar over 1.25 miles here on good ground earlier on this season, it got mullered about a furlong out. Certainly cost it third, maybe second place, and this horse is now just a pound lower than that. Down near the foot of the weights, I think he could outrun his odds at 33 side.
Yeah. And also, with that question mark about him in a finish, with so many places on offer, and at that price, if he comes through and dogs it and you finish second or third, you've still got a nice winner, haven't you?
Absolutely, yeah, and that's that. And his run style does suit horses. I do like if I'm going each way, especially an outsider. You don't want to be on a front runner because they have, or a prominent runner. You want something held up that's going to come through late, and it might pick off a few too many, but not all. Coming fourth, fifth, and like you say, a lot of bookmakers are going 6 places here. So, I think he's got a much better chance than the odds suggest. I think he's more a 16 to 1
I'm not. I mean, I've given my tip, and I'm quite happy with it. Tritonic's the danger for me, but there is one horse I do want to mention.
Yes.
Going through this, sometimes when things don't make any sense at all in racing, then they should make you slightly, prick your interest somewhat. Now, Peter Chapelham, Derby winning trainer, brilliant trainer. He runs a horse in here, which makes no sense at all. And the fact it makes no sense, or in a perverse logic, makes me think that it does make sense to him. He's booked Rob Havlin for it. It's number 7, Deja. Now, this horse hasn't run, Judge, for 364 days. What a bizarre race to come back from a gap like that. I've been through this race
last year.
Yeah, he ran it and didn't pull up any great trees, did he, on similar ground?
No, he didn't. But like you say, very interesting.
He's got 1 mile 4 winning form on soft ground.
Yeah.
He's by Hume Zane, so we know that I can't understand what they're up to, and because of that, because he's such a good trainer, I'm not suggesting anybody goes mad on this, but certainly what I would say is if it gets to sort of the last half hour and this horse is backed, I would seriously consider having a few quid on it, because I can't understand constructing a theory to go for this race unless this horse is showing something at home, because obviously last year, whatever happened in this race or something happened after it has meant it's had a year off.
Yeah.
And I would have thought they would have gone somewhere in a small conditions race and get his confidence back and you know, and then build up to something like this. But they haven't. They've come straight back here. And I just wonder if this is working so well, he's taking a chance on it.
Yeah. Well, he's 33 to 1 as well, isn't he?
Yeah, you get 40. You get 40.
Yeah, there you go. So, you know, one of my colleagues at work, he gave me a little nudge on this one, and I agreed with it. You know, you and him, it is a funny one because, like, realistically, you think, well, it does, like you just said, there's not really a lot of logic, but it's got form in soft. It's done the distance. I mean, end of the day, you don't. If it wasn't quite ready, you think there's no point bringing it out for the season either, is there? You know, you might as well start the spread for next season. So
exactly.
7 years old. So you know, I kind of think you might run a big race at a big price.
Yeah, I just think again, it's a thing when a very, very clever trainer does something that doesn't make sense, and it must make sense to him. Right, so let's reiterate what's going on here. It's the November handicap. The judge has gone for Nathaniel Green. Also a big word for Falak, number 16, 33 to 1 and 8 to 1. Nathaniel Green. That's for Collar and Bet365. I have gone for the Raider, number 20, teed up. Take that 11s. I think this is going to be backed. My old mate Tritonic. I do think he's going to run a big race, but I think teed up might just be getting too much weight off him to beat him. And that Chapel Hyam head scratcher, Deja. I'm not suggesting we bet this. I'm not suggesting anyone bets it. I'm saying watch. And if there's a few quid late, then I personally go have a few quid on the exchange. So there you go. It's going to be a huge weekend, Judge. You got a big day in your service tomorrow, mate.
And good luck to everyone up there. You know, hope it goes well for the company.
Yeah, so. Good win. You have a great day, Julian and the guys. I'm sure they will. And they'll be up in King. He does the business, won't they? The old sponsored yard. Yeah. So I'll be back in the morning, releasing another double dip. I'll have some news about the Breeders' Cup. But until then, if you're not in my HFC club, at the top link, get in, because there will be a multiple bet. And today's bet one did the business at Fontwell, so we're going in there for them. We've had a massive week of double dippers, all sorts, 20 to 114 to 114, all sorts of doubles landed. Bookie Carnage, £470 up for a flat £10 level double. So I'm going into the weekend full of form, and I'm sure you're going to have a big weekend too. And we'll be back on Monday with our new graphics. What will the ticker tape say on Monday? Keep it clean, Judge. That's all I ask, mate. Keep it clean.